I'm gonna tell y'all about how I've been able to go so long without paying rent. The truth is going to shock you. About, I'll say, end of August. Beginning of September of 2024. I was fasting a lot, and during one particular fast where I was the dude I was talking to wanted me to be his girlfriend, he said, so badly, right? And for reasons that I will talk about in another video. I know I'm always talking about I'm gonna do another video, but because I don't be wanting to make these videos so long, because if I really took the time in every video to tell you all those stories and backstories, these videos will be hours hours long. And I know y'all not gonna sit through that. I bet y'all probably barely sit through these 30 minutes. But anyway, I still wasn't ready to be in a relationship. I had broke up with my last situation, my last divine assignment, maybe like before this situation. I just still wasn't again, because that one, you just never know until you're in it, unfortunately, especially with these unstable creatures. So I just really wasn't ready to go through all that again. So he was adamant about us being together, and I was like, okay, well, let's take a 2-week fast from each other. We're not gonna talk for 2 weeks straight. And we did, okay. But during that 2 weeks, I had such an epiphany of a breakthrough and revelation of just like how I had really just been in autopilot for years without even really fully realizing or recognizing that's what was going on. And I was just like, wow, I gotta do something about that. So after we did the fast, we got together, but then I started a transition from autopilot to trying to take control, get back control of my life in the direction that it was going in, and making sure that the plans that I have for my life was in alignment. Was in alignment with the plans that God had for my life. That is where it all began, honestly. So to make sure that I was in alignment with what God had in my life, I then decided I'm going to get another job. So I put in my 2 weeks, which I only did that as a courtesy because I really don't believe in 2 weeks. It was more for my coworkers than it was for the company. We'll get into that, but in another video. So I started another fast after that fast. That's all I'll say about that. I started, to be specific, the fast that I started alone when I was in the transition from leaving the job that I was at to going to a higher paying job, which I always do and will always continue to do. If I'm going to work, I'm going to elevate. If I leave a job, it's because I found a higher paying job. Duh. You know, if I'm going to be slaving for other people, baby, I need the max amount of money I can get every time. So, I was preparing to leave that job, and I started a fast at the same time. Like I was saying, the fast that I started specifically in transition was the Daniel fast. For those who don't know what the Daniel fast is, it is from Daniel, I can't think of the chapter right now, but there was a prophet Daniel during the time that the Israelites exiled to Babylonia. Yeah, Babylon. And he was a part of the royal council because they refused pretty much to eat royal feast that was offered to them. And they told the guards, well, just feed us fruits and vegetables and water, and continue to feed them, the other men that's from here, y'all's regular meals that y'all trying to make us eat. And see if you can tell the difference. That's pretty much that's where the Daniel fast comes from. So pretty much what I had to do was I couldn't eat meat, dairy, pretty much just fruits, vegetables, water. That's it. Beans. So I did a fast, and I did it for 40 days. So ironically, when I started the fast, while I was in between jobs, so I quit the first job at the end of October, and then I started the second job at the beginning of December. This is in 2024. So that's why when I say the last time that I paid rent was when I had that first job in October of 2024. Now, I have an apartment, I have a car, I have bills, okay? Real adult grown bills. And mind you, I just said, my first job, I left at the end of October. The second job doesn't start training until the first week of December. So for all of November, I had no job. I had no money. This is the first time I quit a job and did not have a substantial amount of money saved. My faith was being tested in ways it had never been tested before. But in that testing, I surrendered my whole life to God. So once it came to where I was like, how am I going to pay my rent for November? Like, I don't have a clue. And I do not want to be evicted. Don't want that on my record. Like, Lord help me. So my friend is telling me, like, look for some rental assistant program. So I did. I had a breakup with the dude. Well, I should have never been with anyway. But I had a breakup with him because he was not as supportive or helpful in this season of transition, or it revealed who he really was while I was going through that. So I found a rental assistant program, and I found one that they paid my LG&E, I think it was. Yeah, they paid my LG&E for a couple of months, I think. So I didn't have to worry about that. I used my credit card to pay my car payment. Rental assistance, they paid for the November, December, and January, even though I only asked for November and December. I knew that eventually I was going to be starting getting paid in December, so I didn't really need them to like cover the 3 months, but they did. So I'm grateful for that. And then last 2 months and the first month of 2025 was covered because of the rental assistance. So then I had to leave that apartment. But when I got the apartment, I paid first and last. That's how February got paid. And then when I moved to the new apartment, I had first month's rent free. So that's how all the way up to March. All the way up to March, I didn't have to pay rent because it was all paid up because I moved in March. So it was all paid up from other people in other ways. So April came, the system at the new apartments was messed up because they were, apparently what she told me was they were in the process of changing over management and the system and all that at the same time. So they hadn't got to like switch everything over yet. So that's when I first wanted to go pay my rent for the first time in April. So she told me, She fixed all the discrepancy that I was showing her from what I saw in the app that they told me to sign up for to pay my rent. I was telling her like a lot of this don't add up because my deposit ain't showing up. I'm supposed to have first month's rent free. Like, what's going on? So that's when, she gave me out this. She printed out what it was actually supposed to be. I made her sign it so that if anything happened, it will come back to her because you're the one who said it. So that was April. The specific apartment because it had 2 closets in the bedroom. So one was a walk-in closet, and that's what I used as specifically as my prayer closet. And I was in there spending my time with God for hours, right? So we were very locked in, right? I'm not in the Daniel fast at this point. But in that Daniel fast, I literally binge watched what 4 seasons of The Chosen. So when I say I was locked in, okay? I'm gonna have to show y'all the apartment one day. But that was like, I miss it so much for so many reasons. But I was in my apartment and I was, thought I was on my way up, literally. And then my life came crashing down in May. God told me, I'm not gonna say God, I'm gonna say Spirit. My Holy Spirit told me to quit my job to prove that I really have surrendered it all to God. And it took me a couple weeks, honestly, but when I got the download, it still took me a couple weeks to actually do it. So I ended up quitting my job that I just got. I mean, it was the first call center job that I had. And when I say that shit was very, very stressful, actually. And I was struggling, not because I didn't know how to do it, but just because it was overwhelming a lot of times. For whatever reason, whatever queue they had me in, I always got the people who were doing death chants first. So it means I'm dealing with people who are in mourning literally every day and I feel like that's a lot of the reason why God told me to quit my job. In hindsight, that's why, because I quit my job at the end of April. I lost a very close friend / like he was pretty almost my cousin-in-law because he was dating my cousin at the time, but we were friends before they started dating. So I lost him May the 2nd. Trying to make it through that because I had like just seen him, and you know how it just hit different when people die and you just were talking to them and they were just telling you like, come visit, come chill, so so dealing with my own grief, trying to help people who are grieving, that was not going to be a good combination in hindsight. And then at the end of May, I lost my dad. And then in the middle, towards the mid to end of June, I lost my grandma. So me dealing with all these people who are grieving, who are also grieving, we would have been on that phone crying. I would have been on the phone crying every day. How unprofessional. How unprofessional, right? So that's why I feel like I was like, no, I gotta get you out of here because you're gonna have a mental breakdown. And we don't need that. We don't need that. So, I did not grab enough that first time. It's still ain't enough, but oh well. I don't care about the back part. Go watch the other video. You'll understand what I'm saying. I don't care. But so all that has happened in a span of 2 months, 1.5 months of just back to back. So I quit my job, helping people who are in mourning to be a mourner. Crazy work. But July is when Now, mind you, she told me to check the website every day, and when it updates, that's when I don't pay until it updates. It never updated. Still, this is April to July. It never updated. So I get this letter talking about eviction. I know you fucking lying. So I go down to the office. Now, mind you, I only avoided going down there so long because I was in mourning and I don't even feel like dealing with that shit. But now I have no other choice because y'all not about to evict me, and y'all the fucking reason that I haven't been able to pay my rent. Like, the fuck. So I go down there, talk to the same lady. They told me these things, which is why I made sure I brought that same letter that she gave me. And she was like, oh, I don't remember this exactly. That's why I gotta have a paper trail, people. That's what my granny taught me. So, I go down there and I was like, I got this letter in the mail. What's this about? And she was like, oh, yeah, it shows that you haven't paid. And I was like, well, you told me not to because of all these things. And it still says all these things from this time. So, and she was like, oh, wow, it does. And, let me fix that and let me calculate. And I'll let that do a lady do all that stuff. And while she's doing all that stuff, I'm telling her everything that has happened. Like, I just lost. I don't really care. I just don't want to be evicted because I can't emotionally. I ain't gonna be able to. I ain't gonna be able to do that. I'm already going through enough. And she was just like, I'm so sorry for your loss, and nobody. I don't know what she said, because just tell me what I gotta do. So she's like, well, it usually takes a couple weeks for an eviction to actually go through. So until you get like the eviction letter like posted on your door, you're not evicted. So she told me I can either pay, it was like 5,000 something. Cause she was like, I could pay like 4,000. I think it was 4,000 or something. Cause she was taking off the late fees, and I don't really remember. I care about the calculations she made. It was like 45,000. I was like, I don't have that. Now, mind you, out of the insurance money, my stepmom only gave me $1,000. So I didn't have. I literally did not have $4,000 or $5,000 to pay that. So I was just like, well. She said if I move out before the letter's posted, then it'll just pretty much go on my credit score. And I was just like, you know what? Okay. I think that was maybe on a Wednesday when I went down to the office. Tuesday, Wednesday. I was moved out by Friday. And ironically, somehow I'm still in their system because. And the reason why I know I'm still in their system is because of they had, even though we had to pay our own LG&E, they had another utility bill attached. But I keep still getting emails about the utility bill, and I'm like, y'all better quit sending this shit to me. I don't live there no more. So, after I moved out of there, I moved back in to my family home with my mom and my great uncle, which it was probably best for both me and my mom because being in my apartment by myself with all that going on, I was crying every day, silently to myself, in there just thinking, and I kept seeing these ladybugs in my house at nighttime at that. It's like I've never seen ladybugs at night, but I kept seeing them. This is like a little bit before they died and a little bit after they died. I kept seeing these ladybugs. I can't remember what Google said it meant spiritually or whatever, but I needed to get out of there. Now this will be staring out my balcony window, crying every day. So when I moved back home, my mom, my uncle, I still didn't have to pay rent because I never have. Honestly, that's why I didn't move out until I was, what, 30, 33, 32, 32, 33 years old. Because I didn't have to pay rent. So I was back home July 2025 to March of this year. I was back at my family house trying to fight off depression as best as I could. But being back in that house and not seeing my grandma every day like I was used to before I left, definitely just, it didn't help, really. It was just a constant reminder that she's gone. So I was going through that. And then I ended up getting a new phone. So everybody that, I had last talked to, I just reached out to everybody to see how they were doing, let them know I got a new number or whatever. And one of my friends from TikTok that I reached out to, she had also lost her mom, like at the end of 2025, like I think December-ish. So I reached out to her, check on her because I was checking on her before she got off TikTok. She took a hiatus from TikTok a little bit after her mom died. So, I would try to check on her as much as I could because I'm also a mourning, so I understand. I understand how that goes. So I was trying to, keep in touch. I reached out to her, check on her, see how she was doing. And she was just telling me what she had going on. And she said she was looking for a nanny. Mind you, I had quit my job end of March, beginning of April, somewhere in there. So I was like, well, I'll come and help you. I don't mind. It's not like I'm doing anything right now. So that's how I got to Texas. And I've been here since the first week of March. Now part of the agreement with me coming to help her be her nanny was that I got to stay there rent free. I was supposed to have a car that I could use, which is a lot of the reason why I'm not there anymore. And get paid $600 a month. It started out as $8 and then they walked it down to $6. But I was like, okay, fine. I was supposed to help because she's a flight attendant. So I was supposed to help with, getting her kids ready for school while she was going to work and that type of stuff, help breakfast and stuff like that. And that didn't go. That didn't go. That's what I'm saying. That did not go. So then, that's where April's situation starts. But then I didn't have to pay rent in the program. And then I got this opportunity and I don't have to pay rent. So that's how I have been rent free since October, well, technically November 2024. And this is what, July 2026? So that's almost 2 years without paying rent. All because I surrendered my life to God. So if you don't believe that He will order your steps and provide all your needs and make a way out of no way and do all the things He promised He would do and that He could do and will do for those who love Him and believe in Him and His Son, then baby, I am living proof that He would do exactly what He said He was going to do. Because I haven't paid a bill, honestly. I don't even pay my phone bill. I haven't paid a bill. I was paying my own phone bill before, let me see, for about a year. Even after I stopped paying rent. But once I maxed out my credit cards, I was done with money, pretty much. I haven't had a job since then. I have not paid bills since my credit card's maxed out. Yeah, I still eat 3 times a day. I still have always had a roof over my head. My phone is still on. So I'm very grateful for the blessings that God has given me, continues to give me, of the way that He provides for me. I'd never take it for granted, because He doesn't have to. But I'm very grateful. And that's why, but it's also a part of my rebellion. If you don't believe, which is what are the governments and the powers that be want you to believe, because they are under the enemy's rule and reign. If you don't, they don't want you to believe that this can happen, that you can really not work and God will provide your needs. I'm a living example. But I'm also one of those people who believe, fuck the system. Honestly, I'm sorry. I've been like that since 2012. Because guess what? Without us, the system, I'm not even going to go too much into that. But I'm a living witness that God will do exactly what He said He was going to do. And those people don't care about you at all. Because guess what? None of the people none of the bill collectors, nobody I told what I was going through cared. Nobody cared. So guess what? What did Glow say? I ain't about no credit score. I might be rich tomorrow. You know? And you know what she said? I was like, you know what? She's right. So I ain't been messed up about it, because it made it even easier to not care about it. Once everything came crashing down, because I was like, I worked so hard to get my credit score intact, to get this apartment, just for this apartment to fall through. So I did all that work, and what did they get me? I haven't even checked my credit score to see if they put the apartment on there. I don't care, but give it to God. He'll work it out. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. Just like the woman with the jars of oil. It's not going to run out until you no longer need that resource. And then you can, return to whatever it is that you need to return to.